The courtroom was silent, except for the trembling voice of a young boy standing before the judge. His mother was in handcuffs, frail, pale, and barely able to lift her head. "Please," the boy begged, his eyes red from crying. "Let my mom go, and I'll cure you." The judge blinked, half amused, half irritated. "Cure me? Of what?" he scoffed. The boy's lips quivered. "Of your pain," he whispered. "The one you hide every day." The town of Willow Creek was small, the kind of place where everyone knew everyone. 12-year-old Ethan Cole lived in a crumbling trailer at the edge of town with his mother, Laura, who worked 2 jobs just to keep him in school. But when Laura was accused of stealing prescription drugs from the pharmacy where she cleaned at night, the whole town turned its back on her. No one believed her when she said she took them for her sick mother, Ethan's grandmother, who had died just a week earlier. Now she stood before Judge Raymond Holt, a man known for his stern sentences and colder heart. The boy's plea echoed in that courtroom like a desperate prayer. The judge stared at him. "Son, I don't have time for games." Ethan took a shaky step forward. "It's not a game. You have pain in your chest every night. You wake up at 3 a.m. You don't tell anyone, but it's getting worse." The judge froze. His gavel slipped slightly in his hand. How could the boy know that? That night, the judge couldn't sleep. He kept seeing the boy's face, those steady, sorrowful eyes that seemed to see right through him. He pressed his hand to his chest again. The pain was there, dull and heavy. The doctor had told him it was stress. But what if? 2 days later, the judge visited the local hospital for a checkup, something he hadn't done in years. The test came back worse than expected. He had a severe heart condition, the kind that could take his life at any moment. And somehow, that boy had known. The judge drove straight to the trailer park, rain pelting his windshield like shards of gilt. When Laura opened the door, her face was swollen from crying. Ethan was sitting by a broken heater, sketching quietly on a notepad. The judge stood there, speechless for a long moment. "How did you know?" he finally asked. Ethan looked up, his voice calm. "Sometimes I feel things, especially when someone's hurting." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small wooden cross on a string. "My mom made this for my grandma before she passed. She said it helps people remember there's still light, even when it hurts to believe it." The next morning, something remarkable happened. The judge called a special hearing. In the same courtroom where he'd once mocked the boy, Laura stood trembling beside her lawyer, thinking it was her sentencing day. Instead, the judge spoke with an unsteady voice. "After reviewing the evidence, I find the defendant not guilty." Gasps filled the room. Tears streamed down Laura's face. Ethan clutched her hand. Then, to everyone's shock, the judge placed his hand over his heart and said, "And to the boy who reminded me what compassion feels like, thank you." A few months later, after undergoing surgery, Judge Holt recovered fully. He sent Ethan a letter written in shaky handwriting that said, "You did cure me, not my heart, but my soul." Years passed. Ethan grew up and became a doctor, inspired by the moment a judge once laughed at him, and then believed. When asked what made him choose medicine, he always smiled and said, "Because sometimes healing isn't about medicine, it's about mercy." Sometimes the most powerful cure begins with a single act of compassion and a heart brave enough to believe.